Hi, welcome to the Women in Leadership's Body, Soul, Mind, and Business podcast, weekly reading. I'm Charlie. We're currently reading the Path of the Yoga Sutras, and you can find this reading and others on our website at www.womeninleadershipbsmb.com. And make sure you listen in to the podcast as we talk about these subjects every week. This week, we're on chapter 49, Samyama, focusing inward. Only a one-pointed mind turned inward succeeds in self-inquiry. Ramana Maharishi. The process of turning our attention away from outer objects and toward our inner self occurs in stages and is the culmination of our journey through the 8 limbs of yoga. The previous limbs are preparation for Samyama, which itself can mean meditation. Samyama is the practice of the final 3 inner limbs of yoga, all focused on a single place or object. At this point, due to pranayama, the breath should be stable and without obstruction or irregularity. As our heart-mind turns inward and progresses from one stage of Samyama to the next, outer sensory stimuli fade away naturally and completely. According to the Yoga Sutras, the application of Samyama occurs in 3 stages as we sit quietly for meditation. We will most likely move back and forth among them, eventually spending less time in the first stage and more time in the last. Most practitioners need to progress step by step, gradually refining their heart-mind from outer, coarser thoughts toward inner, subtler thoughts. Samyama begins with choosing an object or location and attempting to focus on that. At this point, we are developing our ability to focus, and our attention on the object is intermittent, like water dripping from a faucet. When we are able to focus our attention continuously, like water flowing in an unbroken stream, then dhyana is occurring. Finally, when our attention is complete and there is no perceivable difference between ourselves and the object, samadhi is experienced. The object of focus is empty of independent existence and no longer appears to be a separate entity from ourselves. We seem to be the water. Samyama can also be applied to an outer object for the purpose of understanding it better. For example, you have been in an on and off relationship for a few years. You're meeting other people that you are attracted to. Should you commit to working through the issues of the relationship, or should you just end it and move on, hoping a better one will come along? Practicing Samyama on this decision may shed enough light on it that you can finally leave your frustrating state of limbo. From mastery of Samyama comes the light of deep insight. Understanding of the object of focus is complete from the inside out and extends to all levels, gross to subtle. From that penetrating insight arise extraordinary abilities. According to Patanjali, these supernatural powers are side effects that are to be ignored or only noticed, never abused or demonstrated, and that the obstacles to moving closer to permanent oneness. These extraordinary abilities can also be developed in other ways. Some people are born with supernormal powers, such as clairvoyance or extrasensory perception. The external and/or internal application of concentrated medicinal concoctions is said to allow one to achieve these special abilities as well. So can chanting a mantra or practicing intense tapas. Samadhi is considered to be the best way to develop these abilities because they are side effects of a pure and virtuous discipline, not a deliberate attempt to gain power. Samyama is interiorizing the objects of focus, ultimately making it appear as if it is the chitta. As we progress through the phases, we cultivate an inner orientation by becoming less interested in outer pursuits. Turning our attention inward is easier after practicing the previous limbs of yoga, which prepare us for this final journey toward our true nature. Thoughts. The inner limbs of yoga draw me towards a pure inner light that is my true nature. I can remain focused and attentive no matter what extraordinary abilities develop. I will seek simplicity and peace, not power or prestige. Exercises. Have you ever witnessed or personally experienced supernormal powers? Imagine having such powers yourself and see what this brings up in your heart mind. Sit in a comfortable position with a vertical spine. Quietly contemplate a chosen outer object, like a decision that needs to be made or a person you're having difficulty with. How can you more fully understand the object? Probe deeper and deeper until more knowledge about it is revealed. How does this knowledge change your view of the object? Meditate inwardly on a chosen inner object. Notice every physical distraction and try to rectify it. Whenever you realize that your attention has drifted, bring it back to your object. Pretend the object is inside of your consciousness, not outside. Thank you for joining us for this week's weekly reading from The Path of the Yoga Sutras, Chapter 49, Samyama, that focusing inward into our own inner knowing. It's pretty amazing. You can get your own copy of The Path of the Yoga Sutras from our website at www.womeninleadershipbsmb.com. Thank you for joining us. Can't wait to see you next time. We're almost done with this book, and we have really exciting things to come for our next book. So thank you again for joining us. We love you. Namaste.